Hi, Andy.
Hi, Julie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Where are you?
Hull.
Go to Hull.
I'm in Hull.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hull, Massachusetts, I assume.
Yes, Hull, Massachusetts.
Excellent. Yeah, great. And what are we looking at here?
We're here to see this beautiful instrument of wind energy.
Here in Hull, Massachusetts, where the community has decided to install several wind machines.
Several. So there's one here, and we noticed one across the bay.
Yeah, that's correct. The one we see here has been installed since December 27, 2001. It's a Danish machine from Vestas, and it helps generate enough electricity for the equivalent of 250 homes to use per year.
And the other windmill that we saw generates electricity for how many homes?
That'll generate electricity for about 700 homes.
Okay. Are you guys hoping to get enough windmills going to provide 100%?
That's the idea. Actually, we probably won't put any more wind turbines onshore, but there is designs to put 4 machines offshore, about a mile and a half off Hull's coast. So that's correct, yep.
All right. Why no more onshore?
We're just pretty landlocked here in Hull.
Oh, okay.
It's a small peninsula of a town about 6 miles outside of Boston. Basically, we just can't squeeze another one in.
Right. How close can windmills live to each other?
Well, they can live pretty close. They're basically measured in rotor diameters side to side and back to front, and that's rule of thumb for a wind farm. So we could put another one of these wind machines at the other side of the football field.
Okay.
And they would get along just fine.
I was asking Andy earlier about why we can't harness wind from storms, which seems like a crazy amount of energy that we could really use. And Andy, can you explain again why that sort of is not practical?
There's probably a couple reasons, but first of all, it's tough to predict where a storm might fall. So to put a machine in an area, you kind of like playing roulette, and you don't have very good odds in your favor. And another thing too, whether it's wind and certainly water power, there's a lot of energy in the wind, and with small gains in wind speed, there's a tremendous amount of wind energy gain. So it's exponential.
Right.
So 2 or 3 mile per hour change can be a 20 or a 40 or a 60% gain in energy.
Right.
And that's really true once you get up into the higher wind speeds. We haven't seen any harmed wildlife whatsoever. And again, it's very popular with people who are right next to a high school in a neighborhood. There's families often playing over here on the beach, and so we've had no problems with birds.
I'm noticing that the only time that we have to turn camera off for sound is for boats and planes. The sound from this guy, which we're basically standing under, sounds kind of like a whisper. I kind of like it.
Right. As a matter of fact, as the wind picks up and goes by our ears, and it really does, we're right now just barely at the cut-in speed. So these machines, they have a wide operating range from about 4 meters per second to 25 meters per second. So about 7-8 miles an hour, these things will start up and point themselves into the wind. They actually have wind measurement devices on them, so they know where the prevailing winds are, when to start up, and even when to shut down. They'll shut down automatically. Winds over 50 miles an hour.
Right.
And that's, again, there's a lot of energy in the wind at those speeds, and a small change in wind speed translates in a big change in wind energy. We always want this device to be in control. Although the wind is an intermittent source, it still helps lower the entire town's energy footprint. We talk about carbon footprints or energy footprints. So the town uses 53,000 megawatt hours in a year. Every light bulb and street sign, whether it's at the post office or the library or individual homes. These 2 machines contribute to over 7,000 of that 52,000 megawatt hour figure. So that's over 11%, 12% of what the town uses on average during the year. There's no storage of this energy, basically sending it back to the grid, and the closest home to turn on a light switch gets the electricity.
Well, how does that work for the average resident as far as their own personal cost? Because there's a flux of
Right.
abundance or
Right.
negative.
It's rolled into their rate structure, and in most cases where rates in the region have either have gone up, theirs has been stable, or in some instances gone down. But that's also due to efficiency and conservation measures on a lot of the residents. Folks are conscious in Hull about installing compact fluorescents, turning lights off when leaving a room, putting things on power strips and turning them off.
So the residents are sort of offsetting their carbon by buying credits into wind energy.
That's correct.
Okay, so they're helping pay for the maintenance, the everything.
They're making wind more affordable, and that's only going to get better as cost of energy goes up.
Right.
This is always going to stay constant. Like I mentioned, 3.5 years in, this has already been paid for. So this is gravy, and similar to the project, especially with that tremendous initial buy down by Harvard University.
Yeah.
And so wouldn't it be great if we could have universities or other institutions buy into community projects or buy into other projects? So Harvard has an appetite for these credits as well. They have a cogeneration plant. They have a few other responsibilities. So it makes sense for them.
Right.
But it also, they want to walk the walk with green talk. And so that's one way to do it.
Is it even feasible for a homeowner to consider having a windmill in their yard, or is this something that really should be a community project?
Well, this is something that should be a community project.
Of this size.
Well, and of this size, this is a baby to today's machines. This is a 660 kilowatt machine, 50-meter tower with a 47-meter rotor diameter. It's an active pitch design, and it has a constant speed. So the blades actually pitch on the nose cone to allow more or less of the wind to go through. And this machine will always rotate at 28.5 revolutions per minute. But a residential machine now is only on a 10-meter tower or 30-foot tower, and maybe has a 6-meter rotor diameter, 7 to 10-foot blades. Again, there are two sides of the equation. The production side, and right now we're producing green energy, and there's also the demand side, so what you're actually using. A residential machine might only supply 30% of the average household. Well, what if you take that average household and lop its energy use in half? Then it shoots up to 60%. Yeah. So these are relative.
Right.
The more we can conserve, the less energy in general we'll need to generate. So this is almost better than zero polluting, because not only is it not polluting here, it's offsetting pollution somewhere else.
So it is zero pollution. It's negative pollution.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Once we could understand that it's actually offsetting pollution that's generated from a coal-fired plant in Ohio or Pennsylvania. Yeah, so it's better than zero if that's possible.
I understand that. It's too bad we can't have turbines in cars while they're driving.
Yeah, it's this thing about the law of
physics.
Yeah, there's a few laws of Einstein proved something about you can't get more out of a system than you put in.
Yeah, well.
Believe me, I have these grandiose dreams myself, and usually then I hit the alarm clock.
You can actually calculate the wind noise at a certain distance from the wind.
Correct. Yep.
Have you ever offered to put like a stereo on the wind turbine and say, yes, there will be sound, and it'll be the Rolling Stones every Monday at 9?
Now they have these Teflon coatings on the wind.
Yep, the Teflon coating, they took care of that problem.
So now it just doesn't collect ice.
Doesn't collect ice.
And your eggs don't stick to it.
If you look at environmentalists, there are two types. There are climate change people and conservation people. So there's a little risk.
Head to head.
They go head to head.
Oh no! I created some garbage.